Okay guys, I've had a request from a viewer to actually show how these Fairgate rulers are used. So I'm going to draw just some shapes and stuff to show you how they would be used. So hopefully that will help him out. This is the square that comes with it. This is the slot curve. This one's a little bit more dramatic. This one even shorter and more dramatic, and finally this one's very short and very dramatic. So between these rulers you can pretty much get what you need. Now I use a ruler on the shorts pattern drafting. It's a blue one that I left a link in, so you can look on the shorts pattern that I drafted. I suggest you use that one because it will do what all three of these will do, or all four of these will do. And every once in a while I may use this one for a slight hip curve or something like that, but generally that ruler is a little bit shorter, but the curves are so gradual on it and then they get extreme as it goes around. You can use it for in replacement of all of these. But let me draw just a simple shape here and show you how these can be used. These two right here are basically hip patterns, and you can see how it's the same from here to about right there, and this one's a little bit less curved right there, but then they end up equaling out up here. But anyway, there's two different shapes there. So if you have a real curvy hip, you can use this one. If you have a gradual hip, you can use this one. So that's generally what those two are used for. So let me get a mark select. Okay. Hopefully this has ink in it. So to draw a straight line, it's best to get this gridded paper so you can line your line up and get a good straight line going. But okay, there's a straight line. Let's say we're going to draw a arm pattern for a t-shirt. So we need an armhole. So you would get this one, and you can curve it however you need to, but you would take this and draw your armhole. Like that. And then come across the top with a straight edge for the shoulder seam. You just come across like this. Now it helps if I draw on the paper instead of the ruler. There we go. So that's just a rough draft, show you the shoulder seam. And so let's now look at the hip curve. So we'd have, let's say it's a skirt, you'd have a waist line up here. See if I can get on some numbers here where I can get a straight line. Okay, so that's your skirt, and you need to draw a hip pattern. So it depends on which way you want to curve this. So you can curve it out like this, more extreme on this end, or more gradual on this end. So let's do a gradual one here. Say we'll draw a gradual one from this angle. You can see how it works. There's the gradual one. This one will be much more exaggerated. Like that. So you can do that type of hip curve. And you can flip it over and just continue your line at the same angle if you need to. I know I got a little bit off on my start there, but that kind of shows you how you can flip it over and use that line for the hip curve. I've already showed you using this one on a fine curve for like an arm, or you can use it for a neck also. So if you're coming down off this and you want to do a neck, flip it over this way. Come down to about right there. We're right about 3. So if you want to keep the same curve, just flip it over and continue on from where you were before. And that can be the neckline using this ruler. This you can use for more of a curve. So if you want to come down like that on something, it'll be more of a dramatic curve on this one, and as you go down they get smaller, the curves get more and more curved and more dramatic. You can see on this one here, it's pretty close to that one. It's just a little bit different, but it actually drew right on it. So there you go. So if you're making like a handbag, so we'll come off of this. Goodness gracious. So you had a square angle on a bag or something. Come down here. You get down and you want to do a shape that's more round. Can round it off using that. And you would come over here on this side. I try to find a mark on the pattern to line up a number, that when you flip it over you can use the same number. So you can take it like this, draw it around like that, and I know they're not going to line up because I didn't do them at the same angle, but then draw your line across and join your, well, hope I can draw. Anyway, draw your line across and join the bottom of the bag up. But you can use this for a more gradual curve on something. So let's say you're coming down to the end of the bag and you just want a little bit more of a gradual curve. You can do it like that. Turn it over on this side. Do that side like that to make it match. So anyway, that's pretty much how you use these different curves. So this is going to be your major hip curve. This one, if you need a more rounded end down here, because they pretty much match up on the curved part until they get right here. This one's just a little bit shorter, same exact curve. This one will be the same curve, except when you get up here it will round off. So anyway, that's pretty much how you use them. Hopefully that gives you a good enough feeling for the different shapes and stuff that you can use these for. The kits, when you look at them, sometimes they don't come with all of these. You may have to buy this one separately or this one separately, and it will come with the square and the hip, one of the hip curves, or this one, it'll leave one or the other out. So you may end up with one that includes like these 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it won't include this one, so you'll have to find this one separately. When I got the kit, I think it came with these 4, and I ended up having to pick this one up at a pattern drafting supply house out in California that I was visiting. And when I was using these, I used this one mostly for all the hip curves. So anyway, that's it, guys. For the person that requests this, hopefully that'll help you out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to try to answer them.